right, we are here with the first episode of the On Fire podcast, a weekly podcast talking about who is on fire this week in the NHL. So this includes the past 7 days, not including today, because we'd probably just make the whole thing about Patrice Bergeron and his insane performance today. Same with Brock Nelson, but we'll start here. I'm here with Blake Murphy, who is my co-host here on the On Fire podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Got my picks too.
Oh yeah, we've got it all written down. So today we're gonna talk about who's on fire, one player or team who's not on fire, as well as at the end the worst teams to be a fan on, and then some closing thoughts. So Blake, why don't you go ahead and give us your first player or team that you think of as on fire when you think of the last 7 days of the NHL.
All right, so my number one, 100% Carolina. Easy. They're just unstoppable right now. Their team is just clicking on all cylinders. They're unbeatable, and that's my number one pick. They're just elite right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious when a team goes 9-0 to start the season, undefeated in the first month of the NHL. It's pretty clear that they're on fire, to say the least. And I think a big part of that is Freddie Anderson. When they made all those changes I have them on my list too, so I'm going to talk about them a bit, where they made all those changes in the offseason and getting rid of Dougie Hamilton and bringing in that cancer D'Angelo and completely changing just what they did with their goaltending and everything. At first was questionable, but God, did it work. It worked.
Cancer D'Angelo.
Yeah, it really worked. Hey? Yeah, I know. It's, goalies beware of that guy, right? But, it clearly worked. Clearly, I should not be a GM in the NHL because I would not have done that, and they're the only undefeated team left. So, what's your next team there?
On fire is a player that goes by the name of Patty Kane. This guy comes from injury, getting a goddamn hattie, just absolutely tearing it up. 2 points the couple days later, and tonight another 2 points. This guy is just fantasy hockey gold right now, and unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely some good trade bait in fantasy, the overall Chicago team's not doing that well, and we'll talk about that in a bit here, but he did really good. Did he get a hat trick just now? Not today, but he just had one.
On Monday.
Yeah, Monday he got a hat trick. So my next one is they love him here in Calgary, Jacob Markstrom. What a signing it was for Brad Treliving. A lot of people were questioning the term and the money that they gave this guy. At the end of the day, Markstrom straight up is a top 10 goalie in the league, plain and simple. I don't think anybody can argue that. You could even make the argument that he's I don't know, maybe in the top 5. You'd have to see who you're talking to, but 3 shutouts in 4 games, 1 goal in those 4 games. That's disgusting. We haven't seen something like this on the Calgary Flames since Kiprusoff. This guy is literally the solution that we've been waiting for 8 years, since 2013. It's exactly what we needed, and I think it's a big part of why we are where we are, and the Flames would be probably at the bottom of the standings without him.
Absolutely.
Who's your next player or team there?
Next is the team right in front of Markstrom. They've been just so surprising this year, so far. Obviously, they're sucking in the OT, but OT isn't really, essentially, a good, showcase of the team's talent, usually, because it's 3-on-3. But I think that the Flames have outgrown their expectations from this season and have surprised a lot of fans. And I think that they deserve the 3rd spot on fire. Yeah.
My third on fire is Florida. I want to talk about Barkov. That guy is just popping off. You would think Huberdeau would pop off, the guy who had 92 points just 2 seasons ago. That guy's unreal, but nobody's talking about Barkov. Yeah, a lot of people will say he's the most underrated player in the league, but they don't understand that he's actually really good still. So him and Duclair as well. Nobody talks about Duclair. Duclair's been good for years, but he's always underrated and just nobody talks about him. But the biggest part about Florida that I've noticed as a Calgary Flames fan is that Sam Bennett is finally looking like a good player. The guy had his first hat trick in how long? Like, the last time he did that was actually against Florida with 4 goals there. And he's, I think he's back from his injury now. But whether he is or he's not, he's looking like a true top 6 forward like he should have been on Calgary. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe just playing with Huberdeau and Barkov. But it looks like he's holding his own pretty well there anyway. Okay, so that's it for the on fire this week. We're going to move on to one player or team who is not on fire, who's kind of like the opposite. Blake, who do you have?
Well, sure, would be a unanimous agreement that the Habs are just playing absolutely horrible, especially for the expectations going into this season from the Stanley Cup final. It's just that losing Carey Price was just so awful for that whole team, and also their quote-unquote Calder rookie.
Going into the season, this guy's the Calder favorite. He's now taking team photos with the AHL team.
Yeah.
This franchise is just, like, they really just made it to the finals, and I enjoyed watching that run. They played good. They were a great team to watch. Fuck, did they battle hard, man. Yeah. Like, they put their bodies on the line and everything.
Get us started about the draft pick, eh?
Oh yeah, that's a topic for another day. That's embarrassing. I think that was kind of the start of this downfall. But I got a question for you, Blake. If Carey Price comes back, is that even gonna fix this? Like, I feel like the big thing that brought Montreal to the finals was obviously Carey Price, but players like Tyler Toffoli and Cole Caulfield were popping off and scoring like I've never seen before. So, but they're not doing that. So if Carey Price comes back from his therapy like he's supposed to soon, are they going to get back to that?
Personally, that's kind of doubtful.
I don't think so either.
The team is playing pretty terribly.
Like, it's usually Carey Price can carry the whole team, but I just don't see it happening anymore. For me, my not on fire, which we'll have to have a better name for because that kind of sounds garbage, is Chicago. That's just kind of embarrassing. Just that whole franchise right now. I'll tell you what, if something like that happened to the Calgary Flames, like that whole Kyle Beach scandal, I'd be embarrassed, and straight up I'd not be happy. But it's not even just that. It's the fact that I was banking on 2 teams going into the season. Florida and Chicago. One of those teams hasn't lost in regulation all season. The other is the Chicago Blackhawks. They haven't won anything. Literally, Patty Kane scoring a hat trick is the only reason that they won the game on Monday. And honestly, with them getting Marc-Andre Fleury, and I understand Seth Jones is overrated, but I thought he'd at least do something. And they have an overall good squad, but just kind of disappointed by them, honestly. And then the scandal just makes it really, really bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to close this up with the 5 worst teams to be a fan of, ranked from worst to, I guess, best. Blake, you go ahead first.
Let's just start with this absolute dumpster fire
wait.
franchise.
Everybody take a second to guess who it is. All right, go ahead, Blake.
The Buffalo Sabres.
Wow. Who would have guessed?
They lose their franchise centerman for a bet in pucks and Peyton Krebs.
It's embarrassing.
And they can't build anything around any player anymore. They're restarting their rebuild. Who are they going to build around? Dylan Cousins?
Yeah.
They're not building around Dylan.
Owen Power.
Oh my God. He won't even play for them. He'll pull an Adam Fox and go somewhere else.
In no other draft would he have been a first overall. In no other draft.
I have so much pity for that fan base.
It's sad.
It is sad.
You don't think it could get worse, but it can for them. It just keeps getting worse. All right.
It's just so upsetting to see a franchise just absolutely fold like that.
That's horrible.
But it is what it is. Jack Eichel's now with Vegas Golden Knights, so I'm sure their fans are having a heyday about that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit here. Okay, your next team?
My next team is Arizona.
Yeah.
Just easy, never fill up the stands. Haven't won a single game this season. Just entirely, they can't find any ground anywhere. They're not building a good team. It's just all around just a shitstorm for them. Also, dumpster fire of a franchise, but at least they're not Buffalo. So
yeah, exactly. Number 3?
Number 3, I got Chicago. Mainly because of their scandal.
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now. I'm not gonna lie.
It would be pretty shitty to be a fan of them right now.
I wouldn't even wear a hat with their logo outside right now.
No, that's pretty tough. And number 4, I got Montreal for the same reasons why I put them as a disappointment.
Yeah.
Number 5, the Calgary Flames.
Oh,
they may be playing pretty well, but they will remain mediocre after not...
Yeah. Forever mediocre, just like the Minnesota Wild.
Especially for that freaking package that
Yeah.
Eichel was traded for. Flames could have matched that easy.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That's
honestly.
a joke, and now Flames fans have to deal with mediocrity unless Daryl
Once
Sutter's got this plan going that we're just going to absolutely light it up.
And we're going to fill up the team with big guys, and we're going to go from there,
It's
right?
just a broken record.
We need more Eric Goodbransons on the team, right? But,
more.
yeah, well... Good list. As a Calgary Flames fan, I can attest that it is quite it's a little rough out here. Yeah. We've lost a lot of good men recently. Just kind of to morale. But okay, my list. My number 1 and number 2 are pretty much the same, except I have Arizona first. But honestly, Buffalo probably should be first. Because Buffalo is way worse, and but it's just Arizona. Like, how could you be a fan of Arizona knowing that your team is bound to get relocated? You don't have an arena to even play in next year, and the arena that you're looking at building is over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. Calgary couldn't get a $600 million arena, and we're the Calgary Flames.
Can't even fill their stands.
We're not even close to being relocated. You guys are like on the verge. Like, how are you guys going to pay for that arena? You don't even make like half capacity. Like it's a joke of a franchise. At least Buffalo has some fans. Like Arizona, I don't even see being a team in the future. Toronto is my number 3. Because like, how do you have a team with John Tavares, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, Jason Spezza is doing all right now. You had Freddie Anderson, but Jack Campbell's not bad. Morgan Riley, Jake Muzzin, TJ Brody, an all-star lineup, an absolute super team, and you just can't win. What are you doing? What are you doing out there? I think it's a chemistry thing, personally. I don't know if it's the coach or if it's just too many superstars trying to be the guy who scores all the goals.
I think that's most likely it. It's just these superstars trying to show off their skills, so they're just coughing the puck up and stuff. That's how I've always seen it.
Like, you haven't won a cup since 1967. Yeah, you guys are one of the teams with the most cups in the NHL, but like, it's been like 50 years. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter that you're like won so many cups in the original 6 era. Like, it's a joke, honestly. You guys have been bad for so long, and now that you're good, you still can't get past the first round. Calgary can't get past the first round because we're mediocre, plain and simple. But Toronto's an elite team that should be making at least the conference finals every year with the lineup they have.
Can't even crack the first round.
I couldn't imagine being a fan of that team. Like, and everyone hates the fans on that team too.
Yeah.
Like,
well, all the fans expect them to do better, and then they constantly disappoint them year in, year out.
Yeah. Okay. My last 2 teams, we're gonna go with Calgary at number 4 for pretty much the same reasons. I can't believe that we did not get Eichel.
Confident. Went to bed that night. So confident.
It was the first thing I woke up to this morning, and I've been devastated. It's honestly eaten away at me all day. I'm not happy about it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, even though we're going to have to in a second. All right, to continue on with that, Calgary's just an embarrassment, whatever. it just sucks being a fan because like you look at who we played in 2004, the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup final. Look at the success that they've had since 2004 compared to our success. We've made it past the first round, what, once? Twice? No, once. Yeah, once since 04. They've made it to the Stanley Cup final three times. 3 times. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. And also, like, Calgary's always been built, like, GMs have always, like, made Calgary trying to have them make the playoffs.
Yeah.
No GM has ever, like, looked at Calgary and said, we should rebuild this squad. Or, like, we should trade away Ginla for something, or not trade him away in 2013 at age 35.
Yeah,
for a bag of pucks.
exactly. Like, they've never looked at it from a smart perspective and just, like, it's... I don't even know what to say because, like, we're just in such a bad cap situation as well, and we don't even have as good of a team as the other teams that are in the cap situation we are. Like, it seriously just rebuild the whole thing, right?
And looking back at 2004, that team technically shouldn't have made the cup.
Yeah.
Final. Like, that team was worse than the Calgary Flames today.
Yeah.
That was a complete miracle.
That was a fluke, yeah.
That was a complete fluke, and the Flames technically won it.
We should have, yeah.
The puck was in. Don't care about that 2004, like, CGI crap that the puck wasn't in.
Yeah.
That was in. But whatever, GMs still think that the Flames will just pull off a magical run again. That's why the Flames don't have any success the past
because they think they
years.
can win right now when they can't.
No.
We just can't with the team that we have, right? Number 5 is Ottawa because why would you want to be a fan of that team? That sounds horrible.
They're a Canadian team that doesn't fill up their arena.
I also want to mention that I have 3 Canadian teams out of the 7 in my top 5 worst teams to be a fan of. That's pretty bad.
That's pretty tough.
Anyways, closing thoughts. Short thoughts on Eichel, on the whole situation.
Well, Jack Eichel, he's rolling in it in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's gonna party it up. Mm-hmm. Wearing the neck brace.
Yeah.
About to have his surgery, and then he's just gonna go play for the Knights and probably go for a deep playoff run. Like, things working out for him.
Put yourself in Jack Eichel's shoes. You're going from a franchise like Buffalo, where it's just pain to be there, and you get traded to Vegas, where you can just go party for 4 months while you heal up from your surgery, and then go play and probably win the cup. Like, he's in a way better situation. Vegas got an absolute steal. Calgary's a bunch of bums for not matching or exceeding that offer.
Tuck's no better than Michael Backlund.
Exactly. Like you said earlier, the equivalent trade from Calgary would be Backlund and Coronado plus the same picks. You're telling me that Brad couldn't have offered that? That's a joke. Anyways, that's all we got for today. Little bit of a test here for the first On Fire podcast, but we'll be back next week sometime, and we'll do a review of the top On Fire players.